But as far as like a replacement for cream, if that's what you like, is that, that kind of, I don't know how to describe it, like creaminess.
Hey, empowered vegan lifers. Ella here with my co-host Stephanie. How's it going, Stephanie?
Hey, Ella, it's going great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Since we started recording these in the morning, I have to say that the rest of my day goes better, but I kind of feel like I have to like warm up to this.
that's what I was just thinking, and I couldn't quite figure out how to express it. And you did just a very eloquent job there.
Yeah. And I'm not done holding my coffee cup. I don't usually drink like the whole cup of coffee, but I like to smell it. I like to, I like to hold the coffee cup and then I start banging stuff around. It's good that we're doing it in the morning, but it's going to take a minute to get used to.
Yes. And then the coffee cup and the microphone and the putting it down on the table and then getting kind of yelled at by the editor saying,
yes,
you're bumping things around.
I know.
Yeah. Things to get used to.
Yeah. But I'm still optimistic that I'm going to work it out because I'm still holding my coffee cup.
There we go. Well, I started drinking hot tea in the morning, which is
nice.
Yeah. So do you ever study Ayurvedic medicine at all?
No, I just get my information through you. I'm kind of lazy that way, that I let you do the research and then I'm like, oh, that sounds like a great idea.
Yes. And don't get me wrong. I'm not a reader. So I do a lot of listening to audiobooks and podcasts and experts in that way. And the Ayurveda, I went through a phase. I go through my phases, you know that. And I went through a phase where I was really, really interested in Ayurvedic medicine. And I still am, but I, focused on studying it. And one of the things that I figured out was that I have an imbalance of Vata energy, which is the air energy, which kind of makes me all over the place, which is definitely the case. And one of the things they suggest is to eat hot food or drink warm drinks in the morning.
Nice.
And I realized that I eat salad and drink that Cincha cold green tea shot in the morning. So I have decided to double down and work on my Vata imbalance by drinking hot tea and sometimes warm food, except this morning I ate a salad.
Yeah. Well, it's a good idea. I usually drink lemon water. That's my first thing. I go out to the kitchen and get that. But then in my warm-up period where I'm not quite awake, I like hold my coffee.
And what do you put in your coffee? Because one of the things, and this has been several ex-boyfriends now, but one of the things when I was encouraging them to get rid of their creamer, that was the thing they said, you know what, I can get rid of everything else, but the creamer, don't ask me to do that. Just don't even ask me. It's not going to happen.
Yes. Strangely, half and half was my last holdout. Like I could not give it up. That and sour cream. How bizarre. Two really strange things that you wouldn't think about. But, I don't drink anything in my coffee now. I drink it black. But for a while I was drinking Califia half and better half, which was good because it had kind of the same consistency as half and half does.
So it's one of the things our Empowered Vegan Life members and our Vegan Life Coach Academy members talk about a lot is, what can I use? Because even my mother, that's one of the last things that she's still trying to figure out. I mean, she's stuck on the So Delicious. No. Is it So Delicious? It's one of the ones that's not that healthy for you. It's got some oil that's not a great oil in it. But I think we've been through every single non-dairy creamer that they offer at the store, and she just does. And for me, I'm like, I don't know, they all taste okay to me.
Yeah.
I'm not like a diehard coffee drinker.
Yeah.
But I know for some people.
Does she like the sweetened or the unsweetened?
She always gets plain.
Okay. Yeah, me too.
Which still I think has a little bit of sugar.
Probably so.
Depending on the brand.
Yeah. The other brand that a lot of people like are nut pods.
Yes, I've heard that as well.
But I don't know. I've never checked about how healthy it is. I just don't know.
I think those are a little on the healthier side.
Are they?
I believe.
Yeah.
I believe, because now that, they have the oat milk one, Oatly makes one. And for me, when I was in Europe, they used Oatly, just the regular Oatly, pretty much at every coffee place that I went to. That was what was on the menu for their non-dairy. And when I got lattes and stuff, I thought that tasted fantastic, and it's creamy, and I found it delicious.
Well, it works really well to froth. It's like the oat milk froths really well. But as far as like a replacement for cream, if that's what you like, is that, that kind of, I don't know how to describe it, like creaminess. Probably not going to do it for you.
Really? See, yeah, I am clueless. No. I am so clueless. I'm sorry, guys. We're going to need to start another thread in our Empowered Vegan Life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I know you guys listening might be wanting some solid answers, and we don't seem to be giving them today. One thing I saw, by the way, Stephanie, was one of your posts recently with Eva, your daughter, who is how old now?
She's 9. She'll be 10 next month. Yeah.
Yes. Her impromptu model photo shoot.
Yeah.
So much fun.
Eva's been struggling because of, the whole COVID thing, first of all. But second of all, I think 10 is the new 13. It's just they start into, kind of that preteen early age, and she's such an extrovert too, that the COVID restrictions have been very, very difficult for her. So she's had dealt with lots of loneliness, just kind of sadness, but then her body's changing a little bit. So she just said to her sister and I that morning, I don't have anything to look forward to today. And it broke both of our hearts. But my oldest daughter, Alex, did something about it. She said, come on. And they went upstairs, and she styled her sister, styled her, and did her makeup and her hair and all this. And then they did a photo shoot. And it was really, really sweet. But, I think probably the sweetest thing was that they were laying on the couch together, looking at the pictures. And Eva was just kind of picking herself apart a little bit, which is so, just so sad. I think even as hard as we try as moms to promote a healthy body image and promote, just promote body love and promote them to love themselves, they still go through that period of insecurity. We just do. And and so she was saying all of these side comments about, well, I don't know, I can't even remember now, but they were little things. And Alex, in her very unguarded, direct way, said to her, stop whining. Look how beautiful you are. And I thought, that is the best body image lesson. We could all take a lesson from that one. We need to all just stop whining and look how beautiful we are, and I
love that.
Yeah. And you could just watch, you could just see Eva grow, it was just like, you could see her just blossom from that one comment. And she stopped whining, and she looked at it, and she was like, yeah, I look good. And it was really sweet. Yeah.
I love that. It makes me think about Shy.
Yes.
And in case you're new to the show, Shy is my little 10-pound chihuahua who's got I call her a CrossFitter. She's got the professional CrossFit people who are incredible with their strength and endurance and athleticism. But they're a little usually on the thicker side. They lift really heavy weights. And I am so surprised how many people feel the freedom to tell me my dog is fat. People I don't know getting on the elevator. Oh my God, she's so fat. Well, screw you. And I was really restricting myself in that language from saying what I really wanted to say.
You should just say it.
Oh, fuck you. Seriously.
Right. Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, this Ella, where am I on the spectrum of that being ridiculous for me to be upset about that? But it happens so often. And it's when somebody says, oh, little chunky monkey or something like that, I can handle it. But just to outright say, wow, she's really fat. I don't know. Where are you on that? Like, seriously, would you be, if I told you that just as friends, would you be like, oh, that's ridiculous? Or would you confirm that seems a little off base?
I think the fact that people think that they can have an opinion about everything really annoys me. But it would annoy me even more to have an opinion about someone that I love, and Shy's, we all love Shy. She's your baby. So yes, I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Thank you. Yes. I just say, oh, she's really strong. I don't know. I don't know what I say, but it's interesting because she is my baby and she is, she's got the body type she's got, and she eats cucumbers for snacks, and I feed her healthy vegan food, and she's a healthy 14-year-old Chihuahua. Yeah. So F you.
F you is right.
Yeah. Speaking of COVID, one other thing before we get to today's training, I wanted to mention, just maybe it's a confession. I work in my underwear now for the first 4 hours of my day. Like completely in my underwear.
I'm in my underwear now.
Well, there we go.
I threw on my sweatshirt because I was cold, but I was willing to have my upper half be warm, but my bottom half, I'm like, oh no.
What's the point?
I'm in my basement.
Yeah, no, I know. My, my boyfriend usually jumps out of bed and goes to the gym first thing in the morning. I go to the gym later. My alarm goes off at 4:44. I think we've talked about that before. Yeah. And I usually do a few minutes of meditation, and then I bring my computer to bed. And me and my computer and Shy hang out for the next hour or two working. But I don't know, it makes working at 5 o'clock in the morning a little easier for me.
I think that's great.
It's whatever works, right?
Yeah. Well, we're kind of a pantsless family over here. Well, I should say the girls and I are. But when everybody's together, of course, everybody puts on clothes. But the girls and I, when we're together, pants are optional.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I can't believe I just said that.
Oh my goodness.
Speaking of Instagram, I'm not one to post and to, I never comment on anything, but I saw a post the other day that just kind of broke my heart because nobody was responding to this guy. He had asked this very serious question.
What was it?
Actually, you know what? It was actually, you actually know him. I don't know him.
Okay.
It's Nelson's post.
And
all of a sudden I was like, I gotta answer him. I gotta answer him seriously. And I said this very vulnerable thing. And then I was like, oh my God, why did I do that? Why did I say that?
What did you say?
Well, he was talking about, it was a very heartfelt post, and it was actually a really good question. He was like, what are some of your fears? What are the things that you fear? And, I'm a therapist at heart too. So I'm interested in people's answers to this, because it's actually it's a fantastic question. It's a really good, and the post itself was beautiful. But anyway, I got in there and people were like shooting hearts and flames and all kinds of weird stuff, and like nobody was answering his question, and I felt very bad. Nobody had answered this question, because it's actually was a real and authentic question. And so then I answered, and then I was like, what am I doing?
Well, I want to know what you said, because I didn't read it.
I said that my biggest fear was that I wouldn't be basically, and it is my biggest fear. I mean, this really is serious, but that I wouldn't, in like the big moments and the small moments, that I wouldn't give my children what they needed. Because, and I think we can all like look back on moments when we're like, I didn't take that seriously enough, or I was too busy to do this, or, it's for 100 different reasons, but that it's very significant to a child. And that's what I said. It was, I'm always afraid that I'm not going to be enough, or that I'm not going to be in a place where I've given enough, or that I've come up to the challenge. But that's not typically me. I don't usually get real vulnerable.
You don't
ever. Well, I don't.
You really don't.
Hard for me. I teach it. I say people should do it, but I don't. But in this moment, I was like, he's really trying to get a discussion going here, people. You got to engage.
He did. He put it all out there, and that wasn't something he usually does. So good for you. So thank you on his behalf.
Yeah, and maybe that's it, because you had said you got to see this post and how beautiful it is and how vulnerable it is. Maybe that was it. I related to him in that way, that I don't do that either, and it's hard. And when people don't respond, it gets harder to do it the next time. So maybe that was
You took one for the team.
I took one for the team.
Well, here's the thing.
For the vulnerability team.
Yes. Well, here's the thing about vulnerability. And I think there's this misconception that in order to be vulnerable, you have to share with the whole world.
Yeah.
And really, you just need one safe space to share in order to get the benefits of being vulnerable, and using that as a mechanism to evoke change, and to tackle shame and that I'm not good enough thing.
Very true. Very true. And there's even studies that go into that, about kind of that whole bleeding all over the floor in front of the world is not real vulnerability, and but that's a whole nother topic.
But you know what everything's related to? What? Happiness.
Yes, it is.
Right? We all want to be happy.
We all want to be happy.
Who doesn't want to be happy?
Yeah.
I dare you to raise your hand. Let us know, because you're a phenomenon, which is our topic for today's mini training, which is one we're going to play actually from an actual training you did, Stephanie, in one of our programs, our coaching programs.
Yeah.
And is representative of the trainings that we do give in Vegan Life Coach Academy, and that we will be giving in upcoming programs to be announced very soon. So I'm really excited for everybody to listen to this mini training. It's really powerful. I do want to put it out there that this is in the context of a group call. Yeah. And one thing that I think provoked you to talk about this was that, or you tell me if you remember, it was that so many people on their forms that they filled out that said, here's what I need help with, here's what I'm struggling with. And it was all about not getting the results now.
Yeah.
And how that was affecting them and getting them to a place where they were feeling almost hopeless, I would say, and very frustrated, which is understandable.
Yeah. They were becoming very hopeless, disillusioned, like they were, like anybody does when they go through a you know, another diet program. And they were, that was some of the experiences that they were having were, just a couple weeks into the coaching program, they were like, well, I'm not seeing results. I'm not seeing, um, the results on the scale, or I'm not, but it was more than that. It was much more than that. It was more, I think people were really looking for instant gratification. And we've talked, people talk so much about that. But instant gratification does not equal happiness in any scenario. It, it equals a donut. Instant gratification equals, winning on the slot machines. Instant gratification is instant and then it leaves us, whereas happiness is a choice. So I think that was where that came from. Yeah.
I believe that is. So let's us get to this training right now.
All right.
So there's something that I want to address. I really want to address it head on, because I feel like this is something that's going to benefit most of you, particularly those of you who got a chance to fill out forms this week. And I think it's really, really an important part of this. I think that anxieties are high. I think part of it is definitely what we are going through at the moment in this surreal experiencing that we're in this together with. And I think part of it is really honestly our diet culture mentality. And that is that we want instant results, right? We have been duped into thinking that happiness is around the next corner. And the truth of the matter is that we have to be ever more aware of that happiness is in the moment, that we have to be in charge of our happiness, and that happiness doesn't happen. Happiness is not a future state. And so if we tie our happiness to a certain weight, if we tie our happiness to a way that we look, or a way that we are 20 pounds from now, or a way that we are when we meet some fitness goal, then we're always going to be chasing that. And I really think I found a quote, and Ella has given talks on this before, and definitely she and I have talked a lot about this recently. But I love this quote. It says, "Beware of destination addiction, a preoccupation with the idea that happiness is in the next place, the next job, with the next partner." Couldn't we add with the number on the scale? "And until you give up the idea that happiness is somewhere else, it will never be where you are." And I think that's such an important point to make. Part of this program is that you really have to be willing to dig in. And I know so many of you are struggling with that idea of that maybe you should be seeing some results by now, or that that you don't know if you should be eating a certain thing, or if you should be exercising a certain way. And I get it. Trust me, I get it. But this is a revolutionary program, and you are so worth the results that you're going to get, and it's going to be so much more. If you dig in right now, it will be so much more than you have ever bargained for. And if you grab onto this idea right now that happiness is now, and that you are worth learning to love yourself before you lose a pound, then you've really, really earned the golden ticket. Now, I'm not saying that you have to love yourself now and then you have to stay the way that you are physically. But what I am saying is learning to shift that mindset from a place of depravity and a place of If you are going to come from a place where you deprive yourself of things, if you're coming from a place of restriction, then that's really ultimately a place of punishment. And that's what the diet culture has taught us, is what we need to do. And yet those things haven't worked for you in the past. I know they haven't worked for me. But when you come from a place of love, it's completely different. It shifts your entire focus, because then you start making decisions out of love, and then you go for that run because your body loves it. You reach for the arugula because of the nutritional value in it, and you say, I don't need the brownie right now. You go and you go to the store and you buy the supplement that you know makes your body sing, and it's maybe a little bit more expensive, but you know that that is sourced from a place that's pure. And you do that out of love for your body, and you do that out of love for yourself. And it is a game changer. And it is that work and it takes work to get to that place where you love yourself so much, you're dangerous, as Brene Brown says. And you do that for yourself. You do the work that it takes to get there, knowing that if you do all of these things, then the outcome will be that your body trusts you enough to get to the place where it's supposed to be. And the fat, the excess weight, the excess fat that you're carrying is going to fall off, just like the excess weight that you're carrying emotionally is going to fall away, because you're going to be learning to deal with these things head on. And then you will be doing these things out of love for your body, not out of punishment. And therefore, you are going to find that you become unattached to the outcome. And you're going to let your body do what it needs to do. And I want to tell you this to hang in there. I want to tell you this to encourage you that you are worth this fight. You are worth being all in this process, because that's ultimately where this process is going to take you, is that complete and total freedom, that you can choose happiness from moment to moment without a thought of happiness might be around the corner, because you know it's right here. And if it's not right here, you have the tools, and you know you are capable of getting to there in the next moment, because happiness becomes a choice. And when you know that, and when you believe that, then you know that happiness cannot be in the future, that it has to be in the now.
And that's a wrap, you guys. I hope you got a lot out of today's training, that you had some fun with us at the beginning of this episode as well. And we will see you next time.
Until next time.